Welcome, everyone, to our Tuesday night series, the Super Speedway Kings, and tonight we are at Talladega. Today, I am joined in the booth by my co-host, John DeRudris, who's here to help me call this race tonight on the IWM Broadcast Network. John, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to watch these guys battle, three wide here at Talladega. I haven't been a part of many of these Super Speedway King races, but the ones that I've watched and the one that I called was fantastic. Typically a Wednesday nighter with our league. So excited to see what these guys can do. It looked like practice was very interesting. A lot of close times, a lot of pack racing. And that's what you come to expect here. So I'm expecting a fantastic race here tonight at Talladega. There is Mr. Della Vecchia going around in that Nesquik number 052 machine. Looking to have a good run tonight. And Rick, I'm just really excited to be here. Love Talladega. It's my favorite track. And with these trucks, you can run 3, maybe 4 wide. We may even see 4 wide.
Sometimes they don't even plan on running 4 wide, but they'll run 4 wide. So, yeah, it's always a great race with these guys. We've always, when Jeff and I have called these races and you've seen them, we marvel at the fact that these guys run as close as they do, 3 wide, 2 wide for sure, the entire race. They battle it out. Just some fabulous examples of both racecraft and sportsmanship in one league. So it's always a blast. All right, let's talk about what we've got here. Race information for tonight.
All righty, so here at Talladega, 77 laps, 2 quick repairs. Sometimes those may be needed, sometimes they may not, but they will have 68% fuel, which means you have to have multiple pit stops. There's 1 qual lap, which we are seeing on the board right now, with a slow pit road speed of 55. So when you're climbing down from 180 plus miles an hour, it seems like you're crawling. Unlimited sets of tires don't really matter too much here at Talladega, but they do have 3 green-white checkers. So could we see all 3 used tonight? Not really sure. It's a very cool day here at Talladega. Track temperature at 67. So grip is going to be abundant, but we never know. It's Talladega. The big one can happen at any moment here with the Super Speedway Kings Truck Series. Let's see what's going on at the track. It looks like Jenkins has topped the board, the first sub-55-second time here tonight, barely by a thousandth of a hundredth of a second. No, a hundredth of a second. They're just beating out Korosek and Marin there with a 54.99.
Yeah, and that's so typical of this group. These guys are, they run similar lines. They know how to be fast around this track. We often see such. When we look at the same time, 2 and 3. The 4th position is a hundredth back. The 5th, 100th back. The same all the way through. So super close, super competitive numbers here being put up on the board. So.
It is. It's going to be a great event tonight, and looking forward to seeing what happens here as qualifying should be dwindling down any second now. The last drivers making their way, getting some laps in, seeing where you can start. Here, drivers already going down to the bottom of the apron.
Yep, qualifying is pretty much close to wrapping up. Just a few drivers are on the track. All right, so looking forward to tonight. Again, as we talked about before, this is our 4th race of Season 9 here with the Super Speedway Kings. Oh, and I guess that is going to wrap up our qualifying. And so we're about to go racing here. All right, so as they're getting up, I guess we're going to have the grid. Let's see if we've got a grid to bring up.
Let's see what we got. All righty. Starting on the pole for tonight's Super Speedway Kings truck race here at Talladega, you got Gary Jenkins, the first sub-55-second time, followed by Steve Korosek in 2nd, Sebastian Marin in 3rd, Niegels in 4th, Malou in 5th with Willoughby in 6th, Moana in 7th, Dixon in 8th, Slagle in 9th, and Roger Buff Sr. rounding out the top 10.
Everett Lane is in 11th. On his outside is Eric Laurie in the 071. In 13th slot, Joe Delavecchia in the 052. And to his outside, Jimmy Crawford in the 82. To the inside, Brian Broussard in the 11. On the outside, Richard Sanchez in that familiar 510. On the inside, David Bond in the 33. And in 18th slot, Brad Allison in the 003. On the inside, Patrick Groover in the 01. And to the outside, his brother, Seth Groover, in the 02. And in 21st, Zachary Workman in the 18. And to the outside, Shane Posey in the 83. Robert Rock is in 24th. George Rincon in Robert Rock is in 23rd. George Rincon in 24th. Eric Fielder in 25th. Brian Kimbler is in 26th. Todd Siebels in 27th. And rounding out the field, Dean Wilkinson in that number 55 is in 28th position. Field is about to get underway. I think they're still waiting for a driver or two to join. And we will get underway. It's a good shot of the field as they grid up.
Yeah, we're kind of expecting a great race out of these guys. And you never know what can happen.
Yep, breaking up a bit, John. Breaking up a little bit. Still there?
Basically, what I was saying was, yeah, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to get my mic all situated. So, yeah, expecting to see a lot of good racing tonight. There may be a surprise winner, somebody starting from the back. But really here at Talladega, you don't really know what to expect because, these guys have been racing around each other for a while. There's some new faces in this race as well. So is that going to pose a bigger threat? We never know. But what we do know is that Talladega is always exciting. It's always fun to watch. And you will not miss a single second of tonight's race. Even if we have cautions, we'll still be covering every single minute and second of this race as the night goes on.
So last week we were at Atlanta with this group. Sebastian Mirren was the winner there. Different track. A lot of guys, they're used to running at Daytona and at Talladega. Some aren't really fans of the Atlanta circuit, but I sure am as a broadcaster and a driver. But we'll be watching Sebastian. He was the winner last year, and also the overall standings. Sebastian Mirren is sitting in the top. Gabe Butler in second. Todd Siebel, Zachary Workman, Cody Nagels, all those names. We'll talk about those folks tonight as we're about to get underway here at Talladega.
Absolutely, Rick. Atlanta's a fun one to call as a broadcaster because with the new Atlanta, it's fun. With the old Atlanta, it's fun. Oh, we got stacked up on the bottom lane. Already, I believe that was the 23 of Marin that stacked up the bottom lane there really quick. Not really sure what happened, but we are about to get the green flag here at Talladega once they enter the Geico restart zone. And we are... green flag is out for tonight's Super Speedway Kings event at Talladega.
Yeah, a little bit of contact with the 23 and the 90 on that inside lane. Backed up a little bit there.
Here they come out of turn 1 and 2.
At
getting
90.
Up to speed.
The 90 of Gary Jenkins up on that low line. He's got Sebastian Mirren behind him. And the 211 of Michael Below behind him. That outside lane, pretty solid with the 027 of Steve Coruscant. Cody Nagels giving him the push from behind.
It looks like everybody is kind of migrated up to that top lane right now. The bottom lane is kind of dissipated. There's really nobody there. And the drivers who are there are a little bit further on back. So interesting to see what happens here as we see another lane starting to form already on that high line. Not too unexpected here. Only on lap 2 to see this high line potentially starting to form mid-pack on back.
You know, with this high line, you can't just do it with 1 or 2 trucks. You've got to get 3, 4, and 5 guys up there, and you've really got to run tight and be careful about how you get around. Look at that move by the 23 of Marin. He dipped out of that low line, found the midline, and jumped right up there in front of the 027 of Korosek.
He is no stranger to winning these races. Your winner last week, and he knows how to get it done here in the Truck Series. As he will more than likely, he does lead this lap. As you see that outside line starting to form up there, you got about 5 cars already getting nose to tail. Now that 4th car in line drops down the middle. And that's the little dance you play with everybody on the track is who's going to move where? Where is that line and where is that run going to go? Who's going to take that chance? And right now we see that high line kind of struggling to get started, but here we go. We get a big push from the 20 up in the high line, right in front of the, right behind the 7. There, and I believe that 20 car is a Yoshi team. So we got some Mario characters out here as he drops down to the middle lane.
So that is, if you're looking at the 01 or 02, that's going to be Seth Groover in the 02. And the 01 would be his brother Patrick, and yep, they have a Yoshi theme going, and Mario Brothers.
Always good to have some fun with some of these paint schemes. As you can see, a big push right now from that middle lane, moving Marin up to the front. But look at the high lane. The high lane's already getting up to the 3rd row, led by the 7 and the 19. We'll see what that high lane can do, if it can sustain. Got some tight racing there, a little bit of wiggle between the bottom lane and the top lane.
That's the 17 Brad Slagle that kind of moved up just a little bit. May have brushed the door a little bit of the 027 of Korosek.
Sure did, but look, this is the beauty of Talladega. Here we go, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3 by 3. I sound like a broken record because of how many lanes we have here. Amazing driving. You'll see the top lane start to fall off, but they'll get a big run down the back as long as everybody can keep it still. 5 laps into the 77th lap event here at Talladega. High lane now prevails, just barely up on the high side.
Super tight racing as always with the Super Speedway Kings. Little margin for error. These guys run tight door to door all the time, each and every week.
Well, there's a reason why they're called the Super Speedway Kings. This shows why they're able to run 3 by 3 by 3. Oh, a little bit of wiggle there with the 70. You know, Rick, I wish official races were like this. It'd be really fun to race it. But, you know, it's hard to run too wide in those official races. You know, not trying to call anybody out on iRacing, but just saying.
Well,
just saying, official races.
These leagues bring out some of the best. They really do.
They really do.
And you know what? If you're a driver like a Sebastian Marin in the 23, that driver holds a 7,117 I rating. You know, he's looking for guys around him that he can trust. And throughout this field, there's guys with I ratings in the 2s, 3s, 4, 5,000 that are racing here side by side each and every week. Because why? It's the company, it's good fun, it's the fellowship, and it's the racecraft that's demonstrated with these guys here each and every week. Oh, that was close. That's the 7 of James Bowen that kind of slipped and slid the outside. You've got the 19. That's Zachary Workman. I think his truck shows a 19. I think his number on the board is an 18.
Yep, I believe you're correct. Do we have that high line? Oh, no, we don't. Those 2 Nintendo cars on the high lane. I think we're thinking about going 4 wide. Thought better of that. going into the stretch. Here comes the 23 getting pushed by the 027, leaving the 7 out to dry. You know, there's a reason why his I rating is above 7,000, and that just proves it right there what he's able to do. Making his way back up to almost the point, going door to door with the 90 of Jenkins going into 3.
They worked their way around that 7, shuffling him back pretty deep into the weeds, back to 11th. Oh, wrecking!
Oh, big wreck! Big wreck, car spin through the infield. He got a car upside down, flipping through the infield.
That's the 89.
Rather.
That's Roger Buff Sr.
He almost made it through that, Rick. He got clipped in the right rear, or the left rear, I believe. He got flipped upside down. We'll have to go back and take a look at that one, see what caused that.
All right, let's go back to the yellow flag, see what we can see. This may not be exactly where it starts, but we'll watch. Oh, it's definitely a little bit farther ahead. Backed it up just a little bit. Looks like that's the 84. See if we can isolate that car a bit. All right, let's slow our way through this. So you can see the 70 crosses that line. All of a sudden, it looks like it clips. A little bit of a net code, but it looks like that was going to happen eventually. But turns the 84 up, and unfortunately, right into the door of the 01.
Yep, nowhere to go for Mario.
Yep, that's Patrick Groover there. That was the unfortunate getting caught. Also, his brother Seth got tangled up in it.
Yep, and here comes the spins. Everybody trying to avoid this. Let's watch what we see on board here. Everybody kind of crouches towards the same area. You see the car or that truck get clipped right there.
That's the 111.
Yep, and watch this. Gets clipped just barely in the left rear and just launches the car, or the truck rather, up into the air. What a move by the 03 to get around, but what a violent ride that was.
Wow. All right.
You know, quick repairs for a reason. When you get clipped in the left rear, you flip upside down for no apparent reason. So.
Well, here we are, lap 10, our first caution of the night. And as you would expect, you see this each and every week. Everybody came down on lap 9 and got service. Based on what we're seeing, they all came down. It was a fuel-only stop. Gary Jenkins did come down in the 90. He took on tires. And some of those guys further back in the field also made it a 4-tire stop.
Yeah, some of those guys definitely needed some tires after that, just spinning through the exit of 4 in the tri-oval there. So we'll see who's able to prevail, but, you know, the 23 still out front. He has the lead over Korsek, Malou, Neagles, Lane, Workman, and the rest of this field.
So that's our top 10 so far running. We'll kind of keep you up to speed as to who's running where as best we can. But once we're under green flag, as soon as I call out who's currently leading, it changes in a heartbeat.
It does. Every time.
Well, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. We know that you don't have to follow us. You do it because you want to, and we appreciate that. And we hope you can tune in to each and every race. We typically have a weekly broadcast here with the Super Speedway Kings on each and every Tuesday. And on Wednesday nights, we will bring you the Tech for Troops series. That's a Cup Series race. And they run on Wednesday nights around the same time. They are currently finishing up their round of 12. And we're in the playoffs. And they'll soon be in their round of 8 soon enough. So exciting over there on Wednesday nights, but we are here on Tuesdays. And part of the fun of watching this, John, for me is the fact that I learn a lot just by watching the way these guys race, how they run, how they hold their lines, and how they really, their racecraft.
Sure. Makes a ton of sense. I mean, like you said, you have some of these guys in here that have I ratings of north of 7,000. And when you have those guys in here, you got to pay attention to what they do, the moves they make, when they make their moves. I mean, you're 100% correct. I feel like even if you're in the race, you can learn. If you're watching, if you're not even a part of iRacing, you can learn a little bit about what to do, what not to do, and how the racecraft really plays into how you finish in a race. And, you know, for the races that I've seen and called, that 23 finds its way up to the front almost every single race. So we'll see what happens here tonight, but you are 100% correct. It's very impressive to watch all these guys go around. It looks like I think we still have everybody on the lead lap. I don't think anybody is a lap down as of yet. And I think that the entire field should be back in this regarding repairs and whatnot. So definitely some drivers needed a quick repair, but, you know, that's why there's 2. So
All right, 67 laps to go. About to go back to green flag racing. We're getting a pronunciation correction on Cody. It's not Nagels, I don't believe. I believe it's Nagels. Nagels?
Nagels? Long A, so nay. I believe it's Nagels. Would be right? Nagels?
I thought so, yep.
Yeah. Well, appreciate those. I understand that all too well. I really do. My last name, nobody can pronounce it. But anyways, green flag racing back here at Talladega. Marin, Korosek, Malou, and Nagels all battling 1, 2, 3, and 4. See who's able to get the jump.
A lot of movement in the back of the pack here. Let's try to swing back a bit through the field. The Groover brothers are working their way back up. They have to be involved in that last incident. You're going to see them move right to the outside. We see them there each and every week. A little bit of wiggles. That's Posey, I think, has moved up as well. Shane Posey. And the 052 of Joe Del Vecchia, along with the Groover brothers, are now in that outside line, hoping to make a go of it. They are tight, and that should benefit them if they can get around.
If they have that higher line locked in, ready to go, we'll see how they're able to prevail.
You just saw Zachary Workman jump up there.
4 wide, Rick, here at Talladega.
Oh, a little bit of brush in the wall.
Yep, that's what happens. It's wide enough for 4 trucks, but you have to be so precise, no matter who you are or where you are in that 4 wide battle. So, saw a little sparks there. I believe that came off the 01
Oh,
machine.
back again. More contact with the 02 into the retaining wall.
The pressure's high. I mean, look at these guys. They're running 3 by 3 by 3, like 7 rows deep. So it's definitely a little bit of a stressful situation. You know what would be awesome, Rick, if they came out with a steering wheel that you were able to read your heart monitor through the wheel, part of the wall. That was the O2 machine, I believe. But if they had a heart rate monitor somehow built into where your hand placement is, no matter where it is on the wheel, and you're able to get a live reading. You're able to show contact. One to the wall, kind of. Maybe.
Saved it. They saved it. This is the view from Joe Del Vecchia.
01 is just not satisfied with that high lane. Trying to find his way around these guys. Definitely some tight action as we see, but yeah, that'd be fun to add into some wheels. That Logitech. Oh, got some action between the 01 again. The 052. They are door to door coming out of the corner. Definitely some contact being made between those two drivers. They are still, I mean, side by side. Very tight racing between the 052 and the 01 here at Talladega.
All of those drivers were involved in some way, shape, or form in that previous incident.
Well, now we may know why. Maybe it's a little bit close racing, you know? Maybe it's a product of Talladega. 01 drops down to the middle lane. That leaves two cars to that outside lane. Now he drops back up to the top, tags the wall just a little bit. Trying to figure out where to go, but as it stands right now, Marin is out front, still leading this pack all the way around this 2.66 mile.
Yeah, we're taking nothing away from those guys at the front, but there's a lot of drama happening back here in that outside line. You've got Workman up front, leading that outside lane.
He is, and he's trying to get some that side drafting going to propel himself forward. We'll see if it works this time by.
You've got the 83 of Shane Posey behind the Workman. You got the Groover brothers back there behind them as well. They are not giving up. If they can't make it on 3 wide, they have no problem pushing to 4 wide.
Not at all. They'll put their trucks there if it means a win or a victory or a good point. These guys, a little bit of bobbling there. Here we go. Tight racing up in that high line again.
They are 4 wide.
Oh, goodness. The 01, the brothers, they're wanting to go to that high line. I mean, the really high line, Rick. I mean, the 4 wide line.
Yeah, not for the faint of heart if you're an iRacing driver. In fact, that 7 looks like that's dropped out a bit. Maybe coming down to pit road. Yep, James Bowen is coming down to pit road. I don't expect to see guys onto pit road till about lap 30. About 21 laps or so on this tank.
That would make a lot of sense, as we now have about 20 cars or 20 trucks up in this front pack, with a big push by the 85 in the high line to the 19, or 83 rather, my bad. 83 pushing that 19 around with the Groover brothers right behind them, still trying to find that really high line. They're trying to go to the outside, make it 4 wide here at Talladega. 18 of 77 complete. We thank you for watching, and now we're at 4 wide.
4 wide.
It's there. Not quite yet. The middle lane pulled it out, so I would not be surprised to see that happen, Rick, later in the race with the 01 and the 02. They're on the same page together, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's no fear amongst these guys with pushing that envelope. I mean, there is a 4th line, but everybody's got to be on board with that. One little waggle from that middle lane and you're toast.
You really are. I mean, it's all really about the middle 2 lanes, because the high lane has nowhere to go. The bottom lane, as long as they stay along that yellow line, they're fine. So really, it depends on the 2 middle lanes, which here at Talladega, if you notice, the track's going to switch from 4 lanes down to 3, just right there from the trial along going into turn 1. So it messes with your mind a little bit. It messes with your placement, your feel of the track. You feel like you're getting pinched in, which you are just a little bit. But right now, it's still 3 by 3 by 3, but we may see 4. Here we go. Oh, they tried. Did not work. The door was shut.
Well, once you can go 4 wide on some of these corner entry, but when you come off 2 and off 4, it's narrow.
It is. it's very narrow, and it does widen up right here. But
oh, contact! 411's involved.
And the 02 and the 80. Contact! Big wreck in the tri-oval. A lot of left rears and right rears were clipped in that one.
Well, here we are, caution number 2. Lap 21. That's the second time we've seen the 89 involved, unfortunately. That's Roger Buff Sr. He's smoking pretty heavily.
Yeah, let's see if it'll make it around. If you see one big poof of smoke and then nothing, that means the engine will blow, or has blown. Let's see if he's able to make it around. He does have one quick repair left, though. So it's hard using that only 21 laps into an event, but sometimes you just do what you got to do to get yourself back into these races. So, Rick, let's see if we can bring up a replay and see what happened here. There's the 411, I believe, in the bottom lane, right in front of the 17 machine. Oh, a little loose there.
That's the 052. Now, this is an open set league. Now, what that means is that the drivers and their teams configure these setups, and they're in charge. Not everybody is running the same setup. So that means potentially, if you're a little loose, or it's a little twitchy coming out of a corner, you've got to manage that. So yeah, so it's like the 052 has collected the 411. Let's try to get a better back view here of someone. Oh, that's too far back.
Yep, chaos ensues. And I don't think that that was just incidental contact between the 17 right there. Really, they had it saved. I don't really know what happened. On board the Yoshi machine. See another car get clipped right there up at the top, middle of the tri-oval. You get sent right into that retaining wall. The safer barrier almost flips it around.
That was the 84.
And the 03 gets by unscathed again. Second time he's made his way through this. he was a front row seat to the 89 flipping through the air on our first caution. So some nice wreck avoidance skills there.
Yeah, or he's got that horseshoe on the back of his truck somewhere. So
that could be very correct. Yes, it is. Could be true. Could be true. Anyways, either way, great driving.
So, just to kind of bring you up to speed as we went through that analysis, everybody has made their way down onto pit road. And we're beginning to try and form back up with 56 laps to go here with the Super Speedway Kings. Again, thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network and our broadcast of this Truck Series League here at Talladega. Alright, so we've had a couple incidents in the back of the pack. We've got a few drivers who are currently not on the lead lap. I think maybe just a couple. We'll wait for it to...
See why. Not really sure exactly.
Yeah, my board's showing 3 that are not currently on the lead lap, but I could be incorrect.
You're correct.
So it looks like James Mohan and Dale Willoughby, I think, are out. Dean Wilkinson, Brian Broussard, Joe Delvecchia are on pit road. Now, we'll see that often in this league. You're saying, well, wait a minute, why are they back down onto pit lane again? They just stopped. Well, that little bit of fuel that they burned off going around for 2 times, they're topping back off because very often it all comes down to ounces of fuel if we run a green flag event and they have to pit on under green. So
yeah, we'll see if we get some green flag stops here. I'm assuming we may see a few, but as typical here at Talladega, as the race goes on, the stress builds, the tension builds, the pressure builds to get up to the front and win a race. So we'll see exactly what happens as this race unfolds. Marin still out front with Korosek to his outside, Malou, Workman, Lane, Nagels, Hosey, Jenkins, Flagel, and Rincon, your top 10.
So we're right on board with the 23 of Sebastian Marin. You can actually hear him cutting the engine as he's going around. You can see right now he's got see the RPMs are down to 0. Now he's turned the truck back off again. You can see his RPMs are down to 0. He's coasting back on. Again, we talk about saving fuel by the ounce as these guys are going around.
Yep, that's a good way to do it. He knows what he's doing there. So, every ounce matters here at Talladega. The one thing you have to remember, though, is, when you're coming around to the green flag and you're, trying to save as much gas, make sure your car's on. Make sure your clutch isn't pushed. Not saying I've ever done that before, but it possibly could have happened once or twice.
All right,
Trying to save some gas.
Pace truck is down.
Here we go. Green flag is out again. 23 of 77, about to be 24 of 77 complete with the Super Speedway Kings here at Talladega. Listening to these cars roar around Talladega is always a spectacle to see, Rick. Let's see if we can go inside one of these guys, at the front, see what they see here as they make their way around Talladega.
Let's go on board with the 24 of Everett Lane. Oh, dipping a little bit below that yellow line. You can see how tight these guys are to each other.
How close they are and how on edge they battle here at Talladega. Everett Lane 188 going up to almost probably 190 as they go into turn 1.
We'll stick with him. Oh, he had the back out of it. He got so much push out of that draft that he had to get out of the throttle a little bit to avoid running up into the bumper of Malou in front of him. Now
that's where
I was gonna say he's dipping down a little bit. You may ask why. He's probably trying to get some cool air into that truck because we can't actually see his actual gauges, but I'm sure that truck is a little hot when he's tucked up under tight against that truck in front of him.
A little bit, probably just a little bit, and that's the risk reward you play. How close do you want to run to the guy in front of you? Contact between the 19. No, he saved it. 19 saved it. Oh wow! What a save there!
You saw that live right there from the in car of Everett Lane.
Definitely has some left front damage on that car, though, so we'll see what happens. But Rick, I think we just carried over our good luck from the Tech Pursuit Cup Series over to the Super Speedway Kings, something live, which is a trend we see in the other series. So look at that. But that was incredible driving there by the 19, keeping that car going in the right direction, because that was literally the second or third car in that line. Everybody else behind them would have been just completely screwed, basically, and would have possibly been caught up in it. So great driving there by the number 19 machine.
All right, lap 28 is in the books. I don't think we've had too many laps that we were not 3 wide, and as you would expect, the 01 and the 02, the Groover brothers, are out front of that outside line. Oh, and there's Shane Posey taking the opportunity to jump up and take advantage of that big run.
Oh, close with 17 and the 19.
Oh!
Big wreck, cars flipping upside down. Big wreck in 3 and 4. The field comes to a stop.
A lot of damage going around.
I think that started with that high line. Somebody got out of shape, I believe, and just completely had nowhere to go. Looked like it was somebody below the 01 of Groover.
That 24 of Everett Lane is severely damaged. All right, let's see if we can, since we are now back under yellow, let's see if we can get a better view of what actually happened.
Oh!
So that's the 24 of Everett Lane right there. It was like the 83 of Shane Posey drops down, was not probably completely clear, and ends up dooring into the 19 of Workman, comes back up, catches the 01. 01's in the wall, and that is the beginning of the debacle you see in front of you unfold. And we're going to let this run at real time. Let's try to back it up just a little bit.
Wow, 24 upside down. What a great move by, wow, that was great driving there.
That's the 33 of David Bond, who somehow made it through.
Is that a car going backwards? Wait a second. Was that a car going backwards, Rick? Did we catch that?
I think we did. We're going to follow that.
Whoa. What is going?
That's
my gosh.
Okay, so that's the 83 of Shane Posey. We'll let this run and see what happens to Shane here. He's got it in reverse.
And he keeps on going.
He keeps on going.
Amazing.
Was a little Dukes of Hazzard move there.
Well, my move of the race goes out to the 83 because that was very impressive to basically almost evade the wreck by kicking it in reverse and just sticking it and just pressing the pedal down.
Well,
what a move!
He got spun, but he I don't know how he did that.
He avoided the rest of it though. Yeah, he avoided any further damage. So take notes, folks. Take notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you remember to kick your car in reverse when you're sliding backwards and turn 4 at Talladega. So.
Well, lap 30, we've had 3 cautions. I love to tell you that is an everyday occurrence here with the Super Speedway Kings, but it's not. This is a rarity.
They're just nervous because I'm in the booth. Nah, I'm just joking.
Oh, man.
Yep, cautions every 10 laps, essentially. And what this is going to do is this is going to put a lot of drivers in a very interesting situation with quick repairs, because a lot of the same guys have been getting involved in these accidents, whether it was just a bug in a windshield situation or if they got clipped. You know, it's just putting these guys in a very interesting position as we still have over half of the race left.
Yeah, this is definitely an odd situation. I think all these drivers are finding themselves in. Some of these drivers go around and never use their quick repair. So, yeah, a little bit, some early incidents here have certainly complicated things for a number of drivers. But I'm pretty positive these guys will settle down and get underway, and they will be in good shape.
Should be able to get this show on the road.
Well, the lights are off on top of the pace car. That typically means we are about to go back to green flag racing next time by. Your control car this time is the, well, his car says 84. The board may say 82. That is Jimmy Crawford. He'll be in charge and setting the pace. To his outside, I believe, is the 027 of Steve Korosek. He will be pretty much the leader of that outside line. Now the 84/82 of Jimmy Crawford has the 23 of Sebastian Marin behind him. So we'll see how this all plays out. All right, we thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network again. I'm Rick Souza here with my broadcasting co-host, John DeRudris, bringing you the Super Speedway Kings, and we thank you for tuning in. And whether it's live or you watch on replay, we appreciate you watching and keeping up with us. And so please like and follow on whatever stream you happen to be watching.
Field is a little bit spread out this time. If this causes any issues, they're starting to tighten up now as they're led by Crawford there. On the low line, Geico restart zone is in, and we are green flag racing again here at Talladega.
So that end of that longest line got pretty long there for a lot of drivers.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. 23 cars on the lead lap. Some of those guys in the back need to kind of catch the draft. If not, they're going to be in a bad situation as this race unfolds.
That 027 got a great push from the 211 of Michael Malone.
He really did, and we're starting to see that outside lane form again here. See if they're able to make any headway on this pass. But the 027 and the 211 nose to tail pushing that truck to front of the pack. Looks like the outside lane may be starting to form up just a little bit here. That is the 89 machine.
Yep. That 89 is probably on his last quick repair, so we hope that he can keep it clean up there and not get caught up in anything.
Well, here we go. Here's the 3x3x3 that we were expecting. Seen a little chaos ensue already with this happens. We'll see if they're able to hold it now. Led on the outside line by the 19 machine.
That's Workman on the outside. Got some help with Nagels, I think, behind him. And the 052 of Joe Della Vecchia.
Here comes the 83 of Shane Posey to their back bumper, trying to get some help as they make their way out of turn 2. Not quite halfway done here at Talladega. The action has definitely been abundant. see basically 2 packs has kind of started to form. You see the front 10 to 15 drivers.
Yeah, then you've got about 8 or 9 in the pack behind. Yeah, that pack behind with these trucks, you can, you don't actually lose the pack in front. You could catch right back up, especially when they're running in side drafting like this.
Well, you can, and I wouldn't say that's a bad place at all. If I were in this race right now, I'd keep my truck to the bottom lane. If anything happens, I would just dart down to the bottom and hope for the best. So I don't even see why that's even an issue back there. It's fantastic strategy play as they're now starting to slowly catch the field, like you were mentioning, because these guys are running 3x3x3, led by the 19 of Workman on the outside. He's getting that push, drops down to the middle lane, takes over the position. Now here comes the 6 of Nagels. You do see some pushing being done right now. Don't get too far left into that bumper. You know what happens when you get a little too far left on these trucks. They go right around. Same thing with the cup cars. A little wiggle.
Oh, that's the 92? 82.
92. What a move by Workman down to the bottom, leaving the 6 kind of out to dry. Now the 510 of Sanchez up to the point.
Oh.
6 slocks.
Yep, Nagels dropped down to the low line in front of Workman. A lot of gamesmanship happening here, folks.
A lot of pushing in the corners as well. Seeing some cars getting out of shape. That was the 84 machine there. Some of these trucks are getting a little bit loose out of corner exit, Rick, and that is kind of worrying me just a little bit with how close these guys are running.
Yeah, it doesn't take much to hook that guy in front of you and take him out.
Oh, we're wrecking. We're wrecking. Oh, big incident. Oh, man, the 90 slammed the pit wall hard. I mean, hard impact. Hope the pace car got out okay.
That's Gary Jenkins. He didn't have far to tow. All right, let's go back and look at this incident here.
It started up a little bit up front, I think right here with the 89.
Coming down across the nose of the 052, who unfortunately he's trying to preserve himself, and he ends up drifting down into. And of course, Shane Posey gets involved. The 052 gets involved. And here's the 90 just gets doored. That's the 17 that got wrecked. And the 90, unfortunately, gets clipped right there. And he's got no place to go. Oh, the 92.
Doors him there. And here comes the truck sliding into pit lane. Pace truck makes it out just in time.
He gets out of the way.
Yeah, good job by the virtual pace car.
All right.
Well, we're on trend. Caution every 10 laps, basically, so trend is holding true. Oh! Drivers locking it up, trying to get every spot they can on pit road.
For us, the whole field is coming on down. You can see the 90 there. He's getting his work done. He's getting his quick repair taken care of. I suspect, John, there's a number of drivers who do not have a pit repair, quick repair left.
They don't. I mean, there's no way. I mean, we've seen multiple guys in the same people rather in multiple wrecks tonight. So it's going to be interesting to see who is left. I mean, right now, yeah, we still have a field of about 22 on the lead lap, but it's starting to dwindle down. And with as many cautions as we've had, you know, just now making our way to halfway, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough because how hard do you push? How hard do you actually, how bad do you want to get to the front? Because are you anticipating a wreck? Are you letting off? I mean, it's definitely going to be a little bit of more of a different race for these guys than usual.
Yeah, we've got 6 retirees, which is way more than usual here. All right, lap 39. And our 4th caution. We are averaging 10 laps, John. This is not typical.
No, it's not.
But, you know, we do have, again, you know, my guess is that at the next incident, it's going to be really an issue for a number of these drivers.
It really is. You know, some of the guys up in the front you really won't have to worry about, but the 24, you know, the 01, the 02, which are both now out of this race. I mean, you have guys like the 90, all these guys in the back, it's just going to be tough to figure out what they're going to be able to do because, yeah, the field's dwindling down, but the pressure seems to be just so high for some particular reason. And some of these guys may find themselves in a position they typically wouldn't be in, which also, on the flip side, could be a good thing for those drivers who typically don't run up near the front or get wins consistently. So could we see a first-time winner? Could we see somebody that just comes from the back? I don't know.
Well, it certainly is possible. Again, we've got some familiar names up front, but, you know, things could change in a heartbeat here at 200 miles an hour. So the lights are off on our pace truck. A couple of guys have gone back down pit road to top off. They're racing their way back off of pit road to get back on the racing surface. Again, taking that advantage to top off their tank. They're hoping, just like we are, for a green flag run. And frankly, at this point, you could do this with one more stop. If you filled up here at lap 38, there's a good chance you can stop one more time if you stay green and finish this race.
Sure can.
All right, Cody Nagels will be the control car as we come back to the stripe to restart this event. All eyes will be on the 6. The 027 on the outside, that's Steve Korosek.
Bunch of hungry dogs behind these leaders trying to get a win here as the virtual Silverado makes its way down good old pit lane. You see not a lot of cars in that high lane because a lot of those guys that had to be involved, or that was involved in that last incident, had to be on the inside lane. So inside line is going to have the run. They're going to have the majority of the cars. We'll see what happens. As green flag is out here at Talladega, 38 laps to go. Will we see another caution here in about 10 laps, Rick? I don't know. I hope not, because I want to see the green flag stop. That's some fun stuff right there.
Well, I think these guys now are going to, in my opinion, there's going to be a little bit more conservative racing going on here. There's not a lot of room for error, and you don't have a quick repair. And this is just one track where you cannot be driving junk. You just can't get around. You can't make race speed.
Especially on open setups, too. You know, with open sets, that the slightest damage can really set you apart from the rest of the field in a negative manner. So we'll see who's able to prevail as we have all of these drivers getting up to speed, led by the 027 and the 6 machine out front. "35 laps to go here in tonight's Super Speedway King race." You can already see the pack definitely being broken up now between front runners and, you know, some people may argue the smarter crowd or the dumber crowd back there, depending on how you view it, depending on if there's a wreck or not. Because, you know, you can win a race here at Talladega from last place on the last lap in the last corner, or you could, you know, win from first. Anybody can win here at Talladega, so we'll see who prevails. Oh, a little bit of contact.
Yeah, especially dropping below that yellow line. That 027 tagged the wall.
Oh, he's going to come back up the track. Watch out, 19.
No yellow, no yellow. They hung on to it.
No, but that's going to bring that second pack maybe not even right up to them. No, they're still dicing their way through that car back there. So
Korsek, he's got some damage. He's got some right side damage. You can see his hood is bent in. There's some rear end damage as well. Oh yeah. He's gonna
have to come down pit road.
He is. He's gonna have to try and get that repaired. So it looks like that front pack is trying to reform and come back together.
We'll see if they're able to do it. There goes Sebastian Marin. I know you can't see it on the screen, but I see it on another monitor. He's making his way, trying to dice his way up to the front. He's like, enough of these wrecks. I want to get back up to where I can see nobody in front of me. I like that view a little bit better. So we'll see what he's able to do.
Got the 92 of George and Cone that's on that low line in that the man in black truck. He's got that familiar, well, it's not that familiar. It's a Goodweiser truck. That's interesting. That's like a mashup between Dale Jr. and Dale Sr., right?
I love it. Yeah, it is. I thought it said Goodrich at first, but when you said that, it actually says Goodweiser. So love the scheme there. As we see, the high line has started to form up just a little bit.
That's a familiar truck. That's Shane Bosey. He figures third time's the charm. He's going back up 3 wide.
What happens here as they exit turn 2. A lot of tight racing, a lot of bump drafting going on between these top 4, trying to push their respective lane up to the point. Some of these guys are getting some of the wiggles, I gotta say.
Well, as the fuel burns off, now these trucks handle differently when it's got a full tank of fuel. Whereas as the fuel begins to burn off, the truck completely changes. Talked to the guys multiple times, it just runs differently. Oh, looks like we got a bit of a blinking truck in the back there. That orange truck of Brian Kimbler. Just saw him blink out. And if you're not familiar with what that means, that just means the driver has a connection issue and there's a break in his internet or his connection with iRacing. Gets interrupted, and unfortunately that truck appears and then disappears. So we hope that gets corrected for Brian's sake. Brian's currently running in 13th position in that Hugger orange truck.
We are now approaching 30 to go. The field is low, a little bit of wiggles there from the 24 in that high lane, but we are getting a little loose.
Yep. That's the 411 of Tom Dixon out in front. He's got the 24 of Everett Lane. Everett wants to get back up to the front. He was caught up in that earlier incident. And I think through no fault of his own, paid the ultimate price.
Right. Oh man, it's getting tight up there. The bump drafting is getting a little bit more violent now in that outside line. Better be careful because that 211's right behind him too. This is getting really close, Rick. I don't know how long they can sustain this without something happening. Here comes the 19 up to the top lane. Big bump.
Big push by the 411.
Pressure wasn't on, now it is, with the 55 now jumping up to the high line. That is the 55 machine of Dean Wilkinson. Look at him going all the way to the front, followed by the 83 of Shane Posey.
A lot of dancing, moving, and shaking going on amongst these drivers. They're not content with the line they're in. They just jump up or down.
Got a lap car coming up, Rick. Let's see what the field does. 23 jumps up to the high lane, trying to catch that draft of the lap car. See if he's able to do anything here. Got to make a move, 23. Oh, wow. He picks up the lap car.
Well, that's Sebastian Marin, and that's 027 of Steve Korosek, who was leading the race earlier, who got tangled up in that wreck. Those guys could hook up.
Yep, Steve Korosek only one lap down. Just became a lap down car. So, could we see some teamwork between those two guys? Possibly, as this race unfolds. Big run now from those two machines, but look at the outside line between Wilkinson and Posey. Trying to get that high line up to snuff and run it up there in the front.
A little bit of contact back in the field there.
Here comes the 55 of Wilkinson to the point, pushed by Posey.
He'll be scored.
He thought about it.
He'll be scored. Yep. 55 of Wilkinson will be scored as the leader of that lap.
Now the 24 jumps to the high side of the 411. Big push from the 55 and the 83 in the high lane. See if they're able to do anything.
John, they are halfway through the fuel run on this tank of fuel, so we should expect to see another 10 laps. We should expect to see them come in under green flag conditions if we survive.
You know, that's actually an interesting fact. Thinking about the way these cautions have fell rather, they've been right around when fuel is at 50%. So I wonder if this may be having something to do with the fuel load and it affecting the weight and shiftiness and the actual balance of these trucks so much. Because it's happened around literally right at 50% every single time. So maybe just the handling just goes way after 10 laps, and right now we are at that mark, so we'll see what happens. Hope and pray that there's no incident, but the trend has been every 10 laps.
All right, lap 51 is in the books, about to be lap 52. I think the 411 of Tom Dixon will be scored as the leader of that lap, right from the middle lane.
Yep, the 411 and the 211 teaming up. Those are all Team Extreme Racing drivers right there. The 411 drops down to the bottom lane. See how this affects that middle lane of those teammates.
That third lane is still together, but it's like Shane Posey just dropped out and dropped down to the middle lane. A little bit of side drafting happening. That third lane's got no help. They're just two drivers up there.
We're wrecking. Big wreck. Started with the 23 machine of Sebastian Marin. I caught that one on my other monitor, Rick. That was right in front of my face. Basically, what happened was it was an accordion effect. That happened right in front of and around the 23 machine of Sebastian Marion. Let's see if we can go back and take a look and see what started this incident. As Rick, the trend is holding true.
Yeah, not in the best way. So the 23 is right there in the middle. He runs up onto the 17.
Netcode.
Yeah.
It looks like it's stacked up, though. I mean, if you look at the 19, I believe that is either the 411 or the 211. And behind the 19, see them start to stack up right here. The driver in front of the 23 of Marin hits the driver in front of him. It checks up. Not enough time for 23 to do anything. That gets the 17 upset. And major netcode between the 052 and the 23. I mean, he's in his bumper. And then netcode right there with the 92. Or my bad, the 80. No, that is a 92, rather.
Yep, that's 92.
Rick, that's our 5th caution of the evening. 24 laps to go. What do? You come down pit road now? Do you have to top off? I mean, your calculations and my calculations says 20.
Well, they're going to come down, no doubt. Because what they do know is that if it does stay green, well, you're right. I mean, can they get... So you're going to lose 2 laps. Well, here's my prediction. They're all going to come in now. And when the lights go off on that pace truck, they're all going to come back down again. Because I think at that point, they will be able to make it to the end of the race. But just barely. If there's a green-white checker, there could be a problem.
There could be. Especially if you're in the front of this pack getting pushed around. You don't want to be the leader. You want to be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th place. So you can get the draft of the guy in front of you. See the 23 of Marin getting his car fixed. Probably saving his quick repairs because he didn't have that much damage on that last incident. So,
well,
we will see how this plays out.
Yeah, if you've got 2 in the bank and you, I don't know if he's used it on a previous pit stop or not. You know, he's been into the pits 5 times. Some of these guys behind him, Broussard, Kimball, Rock, Allison, Siebel, Spieler, those guys have been on the pits 9 separate occasions.
Wow.
Now, that also includes those drivers who come down a 2nd time to top off fuel, which is what I expect to see with these drivers here as well.
Correct.
Because the lights are still on the pace truck. There's going to be at least another lap and a half before we go back to green. So that's going to take us down to 21 laps. That is a full tank of fuel. Now, again, as you stated, if you're the leader, you're burning a lot more fuel than you are in the draft behind the leader. So we're going to see a little bit of fuel saving. If you're running up front like Tom Dixon is in the 411, you're probably going to be shutting your truck off. Again, you can see it. They're running down on the flat side on the apron because the truck can roll better. They can burn less fuel down there. And probably if we were to go on board with Tom Dixon, you can see he's got his truck pretty much kicked into neutral right now.
Yep. Do what you got to do to save as much gas as possible. With 23 to go, you need every single second of saving.
Now here's what we're going to see.
Wow, nobody dips down. 23 looks like he's coming down. Here comes the rest of the field. I think that's a mistake out of the leaders.
Yeah, so Del Vecchia, Posey, Crawford, Marin, as we had talked about earlier, I think this is the right strategy. Come down now, top off, every ounce counts. Every ounce counts. I like that. That should be a saying. That should be like a
a fuel strategy saying or something. I like that.
So these guys are out front. So, you know, I guess at this point it's certainly a gamble because you've seen, but this is our 5th caution. You've seen a caution nearly every 10, 12, 15 lap average. You know, that you know, there's what's to say that with 22 laps to go, there's not going to be one more caution?
Maybe 2.
Yeah, certainly possible.
And you know, I think it's even more. The odds are even in the favor of that caution even more because of where we are in the race. 22 to go. I mean, the tension builds and builds and builds, and I think the tension has. I think it's even at a higher degree knowing that we've had accidents. So we'll see what happens as this race approaches 9 to go. You know, 10 to go, 9 to go. See if an incident happens. There's a 17 making its way around.
17 has a lot of damage that he was not able to get repaired. He must be out of quick repairs.
Well, that's an unfortunate spot to be in there if you're the 17 machine. But as it stands, Nagel's out front, Malou second, Dixon in third, Workman in fourth, Rincon in fifth, Lane in sixth, Posey in seventh, Dellavecchia in 8th, Crawford 9th, and Laurie rounding out your top 10. Everybody saving gas. There is your current point leader, Sebastian Marin, and Brad Allison behind him. Pace car is making its way down pit road. We have a very interesting lineup going on because of the pit strategy. Only 2 guys in the high lane. Everybody else is on the bottom. So what are they going to do? Green flag is out. Here with 21 laps to go.
Tom Dixon continues to show us the way. He's got Zach Workman behind him and that 19 on the outside. You've got the 6 of Nagels and the 11 of Michael Merlot. 24 has worked his way back up. That's Everett Lane. Oh, and Cody drops down. Field is trying to get back together behind. It's a lot of a single line racing in the back as they begin to put their lines together. We're just 1 lap down, 21 laps to go.
Rick, I don't know if it's me, but I can feel the intensity picking up. You guys see some guys making some very impressive moves, trying to get their way back up to the front of this field to stay out of the chaos. Or maybe that does cause the chaos. Or maybe they will be in the chaos because they're going to the front. Or you're in the front. Who knows what's going to happen here. 20 laps to go. You see the 19 there trying to get that high line started. Nobody's going with them yet. No takers to the high line there with the 19 of Zachary Workman. Really the 18 on the board.
So it's really going to be a balance here. Do I move aggressively and possibly high risk, high reward move, or do I especially if I'm out of quick repairs, how do I race this?
I guess it's a tale of 2 races. If you have nothing to lose and you have those quick repairs in the bank, sure, try to make your way up to the front. But if you don't, I would be as conservative as possible here. I would run the bottom lane. I wouldn't try to get anywhere else. Even if the bottom lane starts to stack up a little bit, you know that these guys are going to go 2 and 3 wide. So I would just keep myself on the bottom and hope and pray that if and when a wreck happens, you avoid it. And we also have to talk about fuel strategy. Think about where the 211 is, the 24, the 024 rather, no, 24 rather, and the 83. These guys are out front, flat footing it around here. They are not having enough fuel saving as the guys behind them, the 6, the 027, the 19. So it's a tale of really multiple races here. And also a lot of luck, because that's also a thing in Talladega. You have to have a lot of luck and a horseshoe on your side. So,
well, the 211 continues to hold that low line. It's got the 24 with Everett. I thought that was contact.
There was. Oh gosh, that could have been a wreck. Great save by the 027. You know, I think I just created a new term for Talladega. You have the big one, then you have the close one. I think that was considered a close one. So
I think Shane Posey's out there by himself. And that 27, you can see that right side damage.
Yep. He's out there all alone, and we'll see what happens. The 03 is starting to make his way into the mix. That is the 03 machine. Brad Allison.
You've got the teammates down below, the 411, the 211. They're pushing that 24 of Everett Lane. I think all Team Extreme right there back to front, because you got the 82 behind him with 84, Jimmy Crawford.
Yeah, this is what you typically see here at Super Speedway Racing, especially with the Super Speedway Kings. You know,
contact! Oh, the 211's dropped off. He comes back up.
Well, that's a close one. I'm going to start saying that from here on out. That is a new term. That was a close one here. Oh, 24 here. Woo, that was a close move by the 19 of Workman trying to get to the front. 19's all over the back bumper of this 027. Better be careful. Bumping's very aggressive right now. And here comes the 23 machine to the high lane. Sebastian Marin saying, hey guys, remember me?
Yep, don't forget, I'm back.
We know he has 2 quick repairs in the bank, so he is going to be as aggressive as everybody else as he's getting pushed by the 83 of Shane Posey. 15 to go, Rick. 15 to go.
23 is back up front on the outside.
I think he's found his dancing partner there with Shane. See if they're able to do anything as the field starts to bob and weave and go left and right.
He's hoping for a good push. He's got him on the outside, the 052 behind Shane Posey as well, trying to make that third line work. That leaves that sandwich. That's the 19 of Workman in the middle. He's got the 6 of Nagels, the 92 behind him. And then 027 has worked its way back up, and he's in charge of that low line. We've seen him before tonight.
We have, and we saw the inside line definitely lose some ground right there. The 24 getting squirrely. There goes Workman down to the bottom.
14 laps to go. So is he playing that move to change lines or as an advantage, or maybe slow down that low line? Not sure.
Here comes it. Not really sure, but what we do know is the 23 has now gone to the middle lane. Getting a push from Workman. We know Workman can push very aggressively. We'll see if they're able to keep those trucks going in the right direction as we approach 13 to go.
That has stalled back that outside line a bit. That's Posey and the 052 of Del Vecchia. Crawford's out there as well.
Move.
Oh, wrecking! We're wrecking!
Down. There's a 19. He's sliding. He saves it, but we had some major carnage. With 13 to go, trend holds true.
I think we had that one pretty much in our sights.
Yeah, like I said, we are so good at this, not trying to toot our own horn, but I mean, oh my goodness. It seems like every race we catch almost every single wreck as it happens. So let's see what the replay shows. very similar situation to what happened last caution, Rick.
Yeah, let's try to get up a little closer to that action. I think that's the 83 that's up there. I could be
Wait,
wrong.
this was last caution.
Oops.
Yeah, this is a lot.
Sorry. Here we go. Sorry about that. Our engineers took us back a little too far. Oh, let's back that up a little bit. Looks like the 23 may have just come up. Let's see.
Well, I think the 027 got into the back bumper of the 19, which shot him up the track, which got into the 23.
There it is. Yep. Let's take a look at the 23
was
here.
It all net code?
I don't know.
It looks like it was almost all net code.
Yep. Let me get the 027 here. Let's back this up just a little bit. So he's definitely coming up. That's net code. That 19 and the 23 is just pure net code.
Yep, and then the 23 and the 83 is net code as well.
Yeah, he saved it.
He did. And then the 052, I believe, was the car that went for an absolute ride. Or maybe it was the 83. I don't know. I saw a lot of cars upside down. Or a truck upside down. Don't know who it was. But that's 83.
Yeah, that's Posey. He is definitely in the catch fence. Oh, and the 052 gets punted by the 84.
Wow. Let's see if we can get on board of that 83 machine, Rick.
Yeah, hang on one second. We're trying to get a better shot of this. Go back to live here.
That 83 was, I think, literally on top of the safer barrier. Going backwards on top of that safer barrier.
We'll run this in real time.
Wow. Able to keep it going forward, though, but may not have enough quick repairs to get to the end of this event, as we are now approaching 11 now. Well, we're going to be approaching 10 laps to go this time by. Rick, 23 has been very close to some of these incidents.
Yeah.
He's definitely has a little bit of a horseshoe on his side at this point in the race. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you got to come down pit road, right? Or did they already come down pit road?
Some did, some didn't. Most guys are electing to stay out.
I would come down pit road. I would make sure I have enough fuel. I mean, I know the caution's going to help them out a little bit.
I mean, the 83 has to come down. Obviously, he's on pit road now. He's damaged, as Posey. 17 of Slagle is on pit road. But with 11 laps to go, that's 66. So that means we've seen Allison, Kimball, Rock, Wilkinson, Fielder, Slagle all came down pit road. Nobody else did. And right there would have been their opportunity to come down onto pit road. So with this stop, with this yellow flag, my guess these guys are thinking, I've got enough fuel. I'm running around here. I've got 4 laps under caution. I'm probably pretty good.
Yeah, I would say so myself as well. So, a little bit of stack up there in the back. Not really sure what happened. But Rick, with coming to 9 laps to go, it's all, gloves are off. I wouldn't say every man for himself, but those Team Extreme Racing guys right there in the bottom lane.
Yeah, it's on like...
They're going to be nose to tail.
Yeah, it's on like Donkey Kong, buddy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
All right, again, familiar names. Sebastian Marin up front, Workman, Nagels, Lane, Rincon, Malou, Laurie, Dixon, Crawford, and Siebels. That's your top 10. This is our 6th caution of the night. There are 10 laps to go. There'll be 9 at the stripe. And as always, we're bringing to you an exciting finish to this Super Speedway Kings here at Talladega.
You see some guys trying to save as much gas as they can. A little bit of a stack up there on the high line, but they're going to get straightened out. Rick, it's coming down to it. 10, coming to 9 to go. Who is going to get it done? Will it be Marin, Workman, Nagels, maybe somebody in the back? Maybe Siebels. Who knows?
Stay tuned. It's not over yet. After this, once we get a winner here, stay tuned. We'll bring you the top 3 finishers in the booth. Pace truck is off. Go ahead.
Nah, we were thinking the same exact thing. Yeah, pace truck is down away, saying, hey, I want to get out of here. I almost got hit tonight. So I need to just make my way on pit road, maybe go behind the wall. Either way, 10 to go in the Super Speedway Kings here at Talladega. Green flag is out. Back to racing, and both lines have started with a pretty even jump. We'll see who jumps to the 3rd line, see if it's going to be maybe the 45, maybe the 84, maybe it's a 92, who knows? But they are now nose to tail going into 1 and 2.
Good jump on the 19 and the 24. They're able to get a little nose out.
Love that camera angle of that drone flying over. Absolutely love it. Great way to see the race as we now approach 8 laps to go. Nobody giving an inch. Here comes the 03 machine to the high side. We've seen him before. We know what he can do. That is the 03 of Brad Allison. He has avoided many wrecks tonight. So we'll see what he's able to do.
Outside lanes trying to form up. He's got some partners, although that Generac truck dropped out. Oh, and way down to the low line. Some risk and reward. That's the 071 that jumps up.
Yep, he's just looking, he's praying for somebody to come behind and get in that lane. Nobody does. He's going to drop all the way back, just hung out to dry out there, coming to 7 to go. Now the 03 is back up to the high side, trying to get somebody to go with him. And he does. That's the 55 machine there.
He's going to need more than that 55 truck of Dean Wilkinson. They're going to need somebody else at least to get out there with them. That 92 looks like it's going to drop out of that middle line, but unless that outside line stays formed up, who wants to gamble?
I don't think anybody wants to right now. It just looks like it's a 2-lane race, but we know for sure this is probably going to end 3 wide action, maybe cars flipping upside down. No clue what's going to happen as we approach 6 laps to go this time by. All these drivers on pins and needles, being led by Workman and Marin out front. That high line is kind of starting to form up. You have the 55 there of Wilkinson, Laurie, and the 03 of Allison.
Oh. But the 45 kind of drifted up a bit into that outside line. That's Todd Siebels.
Well, here they come, Rick. That outside lane doing what it's been doing all night. It is formed up. Side by side by side. 3 wide action going into turn 3 with coming to 5 to go. Nobody giving an inch.
More takers on that outside line. That's the 84. and the 171 of Robert Rock. That third car in the middle lane dropped back a little bit. That's the 92. That's not good for that center line. They've got to be up close and tight if they're going to push that line to the front.
Yeah, they can really only sustain. They can't really advance as long as that car in the middle lane, the 92 machine, doesn't get to the back.
Oh, Reckon! 55 spins. Does he hold it?
Maybe not. Oh, he saves it. No caution. Wow.
No caution. No caution. You saw it here.
Got another one, Rick. Another one. Wow.
That's
so,
55 of Dean Wilkinson.
Yep, I think he just thought he was clear and wasn't, and spun off the bumper of Marin. Another close call for that 23 machine, but he is still out in the middle lane out front with the 6 of Nagels behind him.
Some contact in that outside line. A little big bump. 4 laps to go.
Remember, we do have 3 green-white checkers. Will we use them? I don't know. But once they hit that white flag, checkers in the race. So, what will happen? Three to go, Rick. Tension is high. Who's going to make the move? Who's going to become victorious here tonight at Talladega?
When do you make the move? Now? Lap 2? Lap 1? There's not a lot of room for error here, and you got to have friends.
Make the move coming out of turn 4 on the last lap. That's exactly when I would make it. We'll see who does it. Here comes the 92 out to the high side, jumping right in front of the 071 machine of Eric Laurie. That is the 92 of George Rincon.
Coming to the stripe, it'll be 2 to go.
2 laps to go. Here comes the 92. See what he's able to do. Get a big push by Lorio. It's going to be close. He is all over the back bumper. Better be careful going into turn 1 to not clip that left rear. He is staying locked in up in that high line.
They've got to make it across the stripe with no incidents to nail down this final lap. At that point, it'll be... Yeah, go ahead. Keep it clean. You're right, because at that point, it's wreckers or checkers.
Yep, keep it clean and keep it green for the next corner. 2 corners and a half a track. Here we go. Coming to the white flag. This is on trend. We would more than likely have an accident right here in this specific moment if we were to stay on trend. It looks like the trend may be broken. No caution. Nothing happening yet. They hit the white flag.
Final lap.
Next flag ends the race. Here we go. Workman on the bottom, Marin at the top. The 92 of Rincon up at the top, trying to get some help.
There's a lap car coming up. I'm not sure they're going to catch it before they get, but it's coming up. Let's see what he does.
Oh, here comes the 84, dropping go to the high side.
He drops out. That's what we come to expect here. Good sportsmanship by that 17. That's Brad Slagle. He saw those leaders coming. He dropped back.
Will we see a block? Will we see a block by the 19 of Workman? Here comes Sebastian Mayer getting a push. Push to the 24. Will we have a first time winner? I don't know. It looks like Sebastian Marin is going to bring home the win at Talladega.
It looks like Sebastian Marin, Nagels, and Workman. So that's how we've got it on our scoring card. We'll see what iRacing and brings up here, but the unofficial results is
correct.
Marin, Nagels, Workman.
Well, Rick, surprise, surprise, maybe, maybe not. We were watching that 23 machine all race long. He had Lady Luck on his side and was able to bring home and edge out the 6 machine and the 18 and the 19 of Workman there, coming to the checkered flag.
Whew, what a race. All right, looks like the results are finalized. Let's show those results. All right, your winner, Sebastian Marin, is your winner. Cody Nagels finishes in second. Zachary Workman, he just blew his engine on the burnout. Todd Siebels finishes in fourth. Everett Lane in fifth. Brad Kimbler in sixth. Brian Broussard in seventh. Tom Dixon in 8th, Eric Laurie in 9th, Jimmy Crawford in 10th, Robert Rock in 11th, Brad Allison finishes in 12th, George Rincon in 13th, Edward Fielder in 14th, and Dean Wilkinson in 15th.
23, and Marin does a burnout right in front of Cody Nagels there. What a run by this 23 machine here tonight. You know, just proves why his I rating is so high. He's able to get it done when it matters.
All right, so that's your finish. Stay tuned for some driver interviews. See if we can
see who's in. This thing to the ground.
Yep, absolutely. Let's see if we can get Zachary Workman up to the broadcast booth. Zachary, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Thank you, guys.
That was a very interesting race with the Super Speedway Kings.
Yeah, it was hard to get up there. Sebastian, Steven, and Cody, all part of Dale Cup. They're good at getting up front and being up front, so it was kind of a battle trying to get up there. We made some interesting moves, try to be a little bit more aggressive than I typically do, but those guys are so good. We just gotta try to just mess up the standings a little bit. But Everett gave me a hell of an effort. I couldn't even have been up there without him. He was pushing me till the end, just got a little wiggly there. I think we would have had it, but it's all good. Good effort by Everett, and Eric was in the team, and Gary, and all the boot knockers, all of them. So Dale Willoughby and stuff, but yeah, it was fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, no, it was fun to watch you guys race, especially you're up there. There's definitely a few incidents more than we typically see, and there's some new faces, and so of course that always leads to an interesting race.
Oh, for sure, but it's a lot of fun with these guys. We had a little bit of smaller field than we typically had, not like the 56 we had on Sunday. But,
very true.
Yeah, it was just it was a lot of fun. I always have fun with these races, with Jimmy putting it on, and now Kevin and Gabe taking over the reins. But yeah, it was just a lot of fun. It's just fun, easy going, shooting the crap with the guys and racing hard.
Any shout outs tonight?
I got a shout out, boot knockers. I usually kind of run with them with SSK and stuff, and ran with other leagues. So Eric and Everett, and there will be Gary Jenkins, Gabe Butler, but he's at the pub right now and probably doing something better. Kevin's got work, so all those guys. My parents were watching. They was catch one of these when I do it. You guys in the broadcast booth, especially after Sunday. I don't even know how you're live. That was a long race.
It was a bit of a gruel, but yeah.
And just Seabass and Cody and all the SSK guys were racing hard. It was a lot of fun tonight. I hope we put on the show. I got a couple good saves. Hopefully you caught some of that, but
we sure did. Yeah. Absolutely. So
it was a lot of fun.
So hang around. We're gonna bring in. I think we've got Cody coming in. 1 second. Cody, welcome to the broadcast booth. Congratulations on your P2 finish.
Oh God, who let him here?
Oh geez, I don't know how I got here. Thanks, Rick. I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys for broadcasting tonight too.
Well, we were definitely. This was a very interesting race. A lot of slicing and dicing. A lot of attempts at 4-wide racing very early on, which frankly did not pay off for some of those drivers.
No, I think the guys, it's a pretty good group, smart group, and I think tonight people were just getting antsy. So maybe just moving forward into next week, big picture race a little bit. The 4 wide's acceptable late in the race, but if you ask me, I don't think it should be done till the last, 10, 15 laps at the earliest. It just doesn't seem necessary to me, especially in like what I would consider a smaller field. Track position for the better drivers, you can get it pretty easy. So I don't know what the rush to get up front was.
No, we were debating that ourselves, and there's not a lot of room. The track is deceiving, and in numerous parts, it's easy to run 4 wide, but there are parts that just are too tight for 4 wide racing.
Yeah, it becomes a matter of everyone being able to hold a line, and your margin for error is very small when you're running 4 wide anywhere outside of the tri-oval. But going back to like the patience, like I noticed myself when I got in the wreck, took a little bit of damage in one of the wrecks. I took 4, went to the back, and within just a few laps, I was back to the front. So it seemed like getting there was fairly easy. So again, I'm not sure what the issue pressing to go 4 wide was, but either way, I mean, everyone's just got to take it as a lesson learned and just take it with you going into the next race. That maybe sometimes what you don't do is the smart thing there. I don't exactly know the phrase I'm looking for, but you know what I'm getting at. Sometimes
Sure.
the move that you're not making is the best move to make.
Makes perfect sense. Any shout outs tonight?
Yeah, of course. I want to thank you guys for broadcasting at IWM, and I want to thank my teammates for this race, Dale Cup. So Joe, Steve, and Seabass, and Zach wasn't in the race tonight, but very good team performance, and I'm glad I was able to push Seabass to the win.
Speaking of Seabass, Sebastian, welcome to the broadcast booth.
Hello.
Congratulations on your win.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome. We went back and we were analyzing a number of the incidents that were there. One of that big on the last one was it, John? There's a good bit of net code going on, so you can go back and watch that. But there's definitely a lot of close racing tonight for sure.
Yeah, there at the end, I got a little bit of damage, so I knew I had to pinch extra hard just to maintain with the leaders there on the bottom. So I was just praying that we didn't get some net code, and we didn't, and got the run off of 4. I think Workman got a little squirrely with Everett pushing him, and we ended up getting the run to the line and got a 1-2 for the team.
Yeah, great finish, and certainly it was fun to watch you guys race tonight. I think we saw that you were running up front for a while. Whether you cycled back a bit towards in the middle and you came roaring back towards the end. Good, definitely a great finish.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, that was the plan. Just stay out front, try and lead as much as possible, try and stay out of trouble, which we did. I think one of the restarts had got shuffled back a little bit and then got a little bit of damage. So I decided to ride at the back a little bit. And then one of those yellows, I decided to ride at the back, save a little fuel, make sure I was good on fuel, and then try and make my way back up to the front, which I did. And that's where I stayed for the remainder of the race.
Yeah, we kind of figured that not the last yellow flag, but the one before there, you all came in, and we figured that it was going to be pretty close on fuel if you had stayed green the whole way with the last 24 laps. But that caution happened around lap 9 that came in and kind of put that to bed for most part. I mean, either you came down and took fuel, or you pretty much under caution, you wound up with enough fuel to finish.
Yeah, for sure. I think if you led most of the stint, you would have been on fumes, maybe running out of 4, something like that. But I just wanted to be safe, save a little bit. I think the remaining trucks out there weren't a lot, so I kind of felt safe knowing that I could save and the third lane would be open so I can make moves. So just saved a little bit just to be safe, and again, got to the front and luckily stayed up there and got myself a win.
Well, congratulations. Any shouts tonight for you or your team?
Yeah, of course. I'll give a shout out to Del Cup, Cody, Steve, especially Cody there for pushing me to the win. I owe him one. I'll give a shout out to you guys for putting on this broadcast, and I'll give a shout out to Kevin and Jimmy for putting on this league.
All right, you got it. There's your winner tonight. That's Mr. Sebastian Marin. Cody Nagels finishes in second, Zach Workman in third, and we thank you for tuning in to the IWM broadcast of the Super Speedway Kings here at Talladega. Next week, we will be at Daytona with the same group of drivers, and we ask you tune in. And if you can, like and subscribe, so we'll send you a reminder when that event starts to happen. So from all the folks here at the IWM Broadcast Network, we thank you for tuning in, and have a great night.
Have a good night.
Good night.